Hello, today we're talking about breaststroke arms. So this is following on from our breaststroke legs video, and we're going to talk about the technique, where the power comes from, and some common problems that you need to watch out for when you're doing the stroke. So let's get straight into it. In the breaststroke legs video, which I strongly recommend you watch before this video, we spoke about body position, and we also talked about these key words that I'm going to use here. In, out, together. Now these keywords are very important for us when we're talking about the timing of the stroke. Later on, I'll discuss when you're breathing with the stroke, and that's where I think most of the common problems lie with breaststroke. Most people like to swim breaststroke with their head above the water, which is absolutely fine, and it's a great stroke for that because you can't swim front crawl really with your head above water, so it's probably the only stroke that will move you from place to place quite efficiently with your head above the water. So this is a really good stroke for safety and also open water swimming. Let's get straight into the arms. So we're going to talk about the three stages, which is in, out, and together. Now, it will make more sense when you watch the legs video, what those three words mean. Together in this context means you're going to pull round and bring your arms together. I use the word together, it's not really descriptive of the action. You can think of it out as in, out, and pull. That would be good. And for legs, in, out, and snap. That might be something you keep in your head. Up to you. For today's purposes, together is pulling round and bringing your arms together to restart the stroke. It's essentially the recovery part of the stroke. So where the power comes from is when you push your arms out, you are gliding through the water. Breaststroke is a glide component stroke. So what does that mean? Part of the stroke is essentially you simply gliding through the water after performing the action. I don't want to talk too much about that at the moment, so let's get into the arms. As you pull round, you're pulling that water behind you. You get to your shoulder line, roughly, and as you are there, your arms, because you're underwater, will start to come back to their beginning position. We're going to show you underwater in a sec, but for right now, I'll demonstrate it. So I say those key words: in, out, and together. In, out, and together. You're essentially forming two circles in front of you, but the pull component is pushing that water behind you, and that's where you're getting your momentum. Let me show you. In, out, together. 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 You can see that as I'm swimming, I'm pulling that water behind me. I'm able to keep my head up. I'm actually swimming very slowly, because we're filming obviously, and I don't normally swim with my head out the water. So this is very easy for me to keep my body position upright, and I'm able to talk to you right now. So some of the common problems you can have with breaststroke arms is that you're not pulling round as much as you possibly should. We basically want full extension of the arm. So when you're pushing your arms out, you kind of want your elbows straight. Some people just do this. You're not going to get very far with that. So make sure, with the idea in mind that you're pulling as much water behind you as possible, that you fully extend your arms when you're in the out phase of the stroke. Another problem is some people pull too hard, and you can really get the water moving and you'll lift yourself out the water. We'll talk about this in the full stroke video, but pull reasonably round and then return back. We don't want to pull behind us. If you pull behind your shoulder line, you are going to have to bring your arms back to their starting position. Let me do that again and have a look at which way the water goes. It goes in front of me. That's the opposite of where we want it. We want it behind us. So make sure that you're pulling that water round and then you cut the water there. Very little returns back in front of me the way that we do it. I'll show you underwater now. This stroke is really good for engaging quite a lot of your upper body muscles. If you're using this as a workout, sometimes I like to, or when I swim for exercise, I swim one length front crawl and one length breaststroke. This varies the muscles that I'm using in my body, and it engages the entire body, gives you a full body workout, which is really good. In breaststroke, you're obviously going to engage quite a lot of your arm muscles, but as you pull round, a bit like when you're in the gym and you do on your back and you do some flies like this, you're kind of doing quite a lot of pectoral muscle engagement. So it's really good for engaging your chest muscles and shoulder muscles as well. Speaking of shoulders, people with shoulder problems, this is a really good stroke for you. Why? When you swim front crawl, there's quite a lot of rotation in the shoulder. You're pulling back, and time over time again, when you're swimming the length, you're probably doing 1,000 rotations of that shoulder. That's why we don't like to turn our finger in, because we're overextending the shoulder when we do front crawl. But when you're doing breaststroke, this is really good because there's minimal rotation of the shoulder, and you're simply engaging your shoulder muscles in quite a linear fashion, which is really nice and will strengthen them up if you've got a shoulder injury. So breaststroke, really good for that. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and I'll respond to you personally. We can have a dialogue about how this is going for you and things that you can work on. Consider watching the rest of the videos in our Swimming Basics playlist, because we're talking about exactly that, the basics of each stroke, and will help you learn swimming by yourself. So I've always got that in mind when I'm talking to you. How are you going to practice this? Lastly, I'd like to say, if you did like this video, please consider subscribing to us, because we'd like to reach as many people with this free swimming education. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.
Hi. Oh,